start of the sunrise. A rooster crowing cup of joe with Poe. It's not just coffee, it's a ritual. A moment to savor. A gentle nudge to seize the day. With every sip, feel the warmth of the sun and the promise of a fresh start. Because a great day begins with a great cup. Wake up with Poe, and let the sunrise work its magic.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be on this ball of dirt flying around the universe at 67,000 miles per hour. Isn't that interesting? So, authenticity. That's the subject today. To be authentic. Now, there's one thing if you want to fit in, or if you're trying to converse with someone on their level. Sometimes you may change the way you talk a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do it quite often. I have Arab friends that don't speak the best English, so sometimes I will break my English to suit them so they can understand a little better. But the whole time I'm still me and still authentic. I seen something last night. I was watching a live stream, and it's music artist on there. In the live stream, they said when the camera goes off and when they go home, they're different people. That's not authentic. Authenticity would be you're the same on this camera or off the camera. Like your boy here. Realer than real. I've noticed an uptick in this ever since social media's really got a foothold on things, and people are about image and the way they look and purvey themselves. Some are, not all. Don't let me catch you drinking Bud Light. I'll put you on blast each trip. Okay, so I don't even have to explain why, especially if you're portraying yourself as a heterosexual man that is in a country rap music genre, which would be, you know, Southern roots and that style of ideology. The last thing you're going to drink is Bud Light. You're going to drink PBR or something. And you're not going to get on camera and attack other men because they won't help you talk about another man. That's not authentic. Or is it? Because maybe that's their true character and it's bleeding through. The authenticity that's underneath that veil that they're wearing, maybe the veil has came off and now we get to see the real people. I watched a young man that is swept up in this get belittled on camera by an artist named Adam Calhoun. Yeah, I'm acting like I don't know who it is. But you probably don't know who he is. You know why? Because he's trying too hard to be something he's not. He's not authentic. That's one of the problems here, and that's why the genre and a lot of the fans are split the way they are. That's why. There's nothing good to come out of a rap beef. There's nothing good with that. It's not a good look to go and talk about another man in music to try to stir numbers when you could probably just talk about yourself, your life, things going on around you, unless that's not interesting enough. Or you could just stray into another genre. Horrorcore, for instance. Horrorcore, you could definitely fantasize. You could be anything you want in horrorcore. Now, mind you, there's been some raw horrorcore rappers. Did you know Scarface and the Ghetto Boys did horrorcore? Bet you didn't. They were one of the inventors, as a matter of fact. Little known fact there. When in doubt, pinky out. So these unauthentic artists are portraying themselves as something they're not. I pride myself in honesty, truth, and this camera showing you real life. Why do you think I go on so many lives? This is what I do. Authenticity. I'm coming back to the mainland soon, and upon my arrival, there are some unauthentic characters and individuals that they wish bad on me. They vocally said that. They have. They vocally attacked me. They came after me, and for what? What was the purpose? They thought they were going to gain numbers. They thought they were going to have fun, that this was going to be some sort of interaction between us where I can write this about him and he can write back about me. And listen, I'm not writing love letters. Okay, I'm not writing hate mail back and forth with another man. It's not happening. If it's that serious, we're going to catch these, because that's authenticity to me. That's real to me. Words lead to action. So don't even do that. Why open that door to horseplay with these guys? Doesn't make sense to me. There's some artists in the country rap genre that I highly respect right now. JJ Higgins, I think I'm saying his name right. JJ, highly recommend listening to this young man. His way of articulating the subject that I'm talking about, country rap music, not just authenticity. But he sees it too. The only problem is, whenever you hear artists saying that we need to come together, no, you don't. You need your group and your clique and your people that you do stuff with and keep it solid and together. You think the Wu-Tang Clan said, hey, everybody, let's get all the hip-hop artists together and we can all do this together? No, they didn't. They had their group and they grinded up to where they were at. But they didn't put a bunch of effort and time into talking about another man. They didn't. Right there's JJ, as a matter of fact. I just mentioned you. I said that I highly respect you and your opinion. Along with Levi Lee and some other artists that are, underground country rap artists that deserve to have their time. And another thing, JJ, I think lyrically, dude, I think you're one of the best right now. Literally. So nothing's going to hold you back but you. You don't need any of them dudes, obviously, because you can grind it on your own. That's the point here. Authenticity. That's something you have that they don't. Now, them guys sat on a live last night and talked about Ryan Upchurch for 3 hours or something. Instead of saying, hey, fans, I got some new music coming. Hey, fans, would you like to hear this from us? Or we're taking questions, guys. You have any questions for Adam or me? Or instead it turned into a cartoon. It turned into them showing their true character. You had Simple Man drinking Bud Light on camera. Country rap music genre does not drink Bud Light. They'll drink PBR. They'll drink anything but Bud Light. So image isn't that important here to them anymore. It's truly not. They feel that they have enough foothold with numbers and fans that you guys aren't gonna, you're gonna believe everything that they do and say. That they really believe that they have you guys duped and fooled. Poor Slot Peasy. I probably shouldn't be sitting here just disrespecting the man like that, but he disrespected himself last night. He got hard with Adam Calhoun. Then Adam Calhoun flipped the script on him and told him, well, Redneck Rave, we can just fight, and afterwards we can hug and be friends. I respected that part of it from Adam. Any man ever tells me that, we're getting there. You hear me? Win or lose, I'm not going to let my character and my pride get fucked up like that. Now, I know better than to let pride get me dead. I'm not doing that, but these dudes ain't deadening nothing. What are they? And just to listen to, and I'm not going to sit on here and talk about Adam Calhoun the whole time, so I'm a hypocrite. That's not how this works, or them men. But I do have to make one really valid point here. Adam Calhoun kept telling all those dudes, you've been to my house, you've ate with my family, I've my kids and your kids played together. And like, he tried to build some big I'm a family man, a hard worker. Dude, you were just doing music with Tom McDonald dressed in hip-hop, bright-ass color clothes. I mean, literally, I didn't forget that. And before that, you were in Chicago with a shaved head, talking about you have mental issues and all this. Flipper, 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 flipper. He keeps flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping. He's flipped all the way to the point where he can't flip again. What's he going to do after this? Going to reggae? Grow dreadlocks? I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't. I've seen enough at this point. I'm frustrated with the country rap music genre. I love gangster country rap music. That's the shit I like. I honestly don't like Billy rap much anymore. I don't want to hear the... I don't know. I don't like that happy, feel-good... I don't know. I just have my own taste in music. I like that raw, underground. Everyone that... knows anything about me, my favorite artist of all time is Haystack. I think he is the greatest lyricist of all time, and I honestly believe if it wasn't for him, the country rap music genre would have never reached up north. I heard his music, and I spread it like wildfire up there. I've bought albums that were sent to my home because you couldn't buy them in the store. I mean, I spent money with this. I put a lot of time and effort into researching the character of the person. Who is this person? He lived up to what he was rapping. So I feel he has what? Authenticity. Because once again, that is the subject at hand here, is authenticity. Some have it, some don't. A lot of people will wear a veil all through their life instead of just wiping it all away and saying, hey, this is really me. Love me or hate me. You know who really did that and made an impact? Jelly Roll, the artist Jelly Roll. He said, because of my imperfections and my teeth messed up and I'm overweight, and that's just who I am, accept me for who I am. He didn't have to go put no costume on or gimmick on to get by. Not a fan of country music. I can listen to country music, especially classic country. I'm talking about Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, The Highwayman, Chris Christopherson. Real gangster country rap I can listen to. The new stuff, I'm not so much. Not so much. But there's authenticity there. That's why people gravitate toward it. That's why everyone's starting to see now that Adam Calhoun and his cohorts, they teamed up on Mercadic last night and was trying this mental game. I watched the whole thing. I do politics. From water cooler politics to real life politics. Obviously, I have 1776 tattooed on my forehead. I believe in America. I love America, and I love what we stand for as a nation, right? That's authenticity. But once you start watering this down, then it becomes unauthentic. I am a true patriot. If I don't care, once again, and I love touching on this, there's only one race, the human race. So erase all of this black, white, Asian, erase all that. Erase all that. Deal with science, deal with authenticity. Another thing that's bothering me, somebody made a post earlier about these rappers using the N-word and getting comfortable with it. I know what he meant. What was he talking about? Nazi? Joking. That's, you know what up, my Nazi? That's crazy. That words affect people. If words are affecting you, that shows how small-minded you truly are, because they're nothing but words that float around in the air. They're not even truly in the ether. That's the thing you don't understand here, is that if you allow words to affect you, then you're weak-minded because they're controlling you through words. Now, it's a different story if somebody looks directly at you and they're like, you're a bitch, and you're this, and you're that. Okay, well, now you have frustration. You're directing these words directly toward me in an aggressive manner. Words lead to action, so let's get that action. That's how that works. It's not, man, you're hurting me with your words. Your words hurt me. Man, you need therapy then. If words are hurting you, you need therapy. And don't go to no psychiatrist, because all they are is legal drug dealers. They're just going to give you a prescription for something and send you out the door. Go see a psychotherapist, a real psychotherapist, not a counselor. Hell, I'm better than a counselor, and I don't even have a doctorate. Why would you rely on other people anyways if you can't pull it together yourself? Why can you not educate yourselves? Why can't you get more? Watch, man, listen. Let me get off the mental health subject because it's one of my main things I advocate for and fight for. Just listen to Jordan Peterson, okay? Dive deep into Jordan Peterson. And if you're a man that is a man, then listen to some Andrew Tate. Why not? There's nothing wrong with reality and living in it instead of living in a fantasy world, because reality is authentic. And that's what we're dealing with here, is authenticity. Some have it, some don't. So I put a lot of posts on here, and I'm at the point now where I really want to go all the way in on these artists. I want to really expose them for all their phony shit. And I keep trying to let this shit just handle itself. Like, these guys, everybody's smart enough to see this. Well, obviously, I guess I just give too much credit to people. Thing about common sense is, it's really not so common. 2 plus 2 will always be 4. Literally, 2 plus 2 will always be 4. You could try some weird math stuff and say, well, if you did, whatever. No, 2 and 2 is 4. and it will always be 4. Don't let people trick you and say 2 plus 2 is 3. And because of this. No. Live in reality, okay? It's daylight outside right now. The weather, it's 76 probably or so, maybe a little warmer. I'm alive. I'm breathing air. I'm coherent. I'm clean. I'm here. I'm in the now. I'm not living in the past, and I'm not worrying about the future. I'm living in the now. And by living in the now, I live in reality. So my world perception is authentic. I'm not sitting here trying to manipulate you through words and say, well, isn't this, this, and this? I'm not trying to dig through history and say, this happened and this. History's done and over with. Let it be where it's supposed to be, in the past. There is no, history is doomed to repeat itself. That is a statement made by somebody with a follow-up. And that follow-up is going to be, if we don't do these things, then this is the thing that's going to happen. It's okay for people to call Donald Trump Hitler. You think that that's acceptable? But yet, people walk around like this gentleman was talking about with the N-word. And once again, it's culture, not race. So there's cultures of people running around calling each other this as if that was acceptable. It is. Because nobody really lets words control them anymore. Only weak-minded people will let words dictate how their actions are going to be to others. Understand words and use them properly. The 2 most important things I think that you can learn in life at this point is how to write. I mean, literally sit down and articulate yourself with the proper wording. That is so important. If you can't sign a document and actually read it, that's another thing. Reading and writing. 2 of the most important things you can do. Don't rely on this phone for everything. The phone is actually dummying people down. The phone is making us stupid. The phone has all knowledge and information. What do I got to ask anybody for? Why do I got to read a book? I can just Google the answer. You realize that Google is actually controlled by people, right? That when you Google something, their narrative is what they want, whatever they want you to see. It's truly that deep. The control mechanisms that they have in play are just so much. Remember that divide and conquer, and the control the media, control the masses. Well, they don't have control of the media no more. They still do in some areas and ideologies. I mean, if you're getting your information from MSNBC or CNN, Clown News Network, then you might want to actually take a second to go outside and live in reality for a moment. Those people don't live in reality. These Congress people, these senators, lifetime appointments have to be done away with. You mean to tell me Nancy Pelosi knows what's going on in the world? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. The Crypt Keeper doesn't know anything. These people are delusional. You can have people fighting right now and screaming and yelling about wasteful spending. If you are pro-wasteful spending, then that shows that your ideology is, I would rather give everything that I have and get nothing in return. And then I'm going to complain about it and point the finger at other people and say they're the ones doing this to me. It's too much. Those aren't fake, the things that they made up or that they told you. They're not made up. They are real. Okay, I mean, the receipts are there. Billions of dollars just wasted like that? Why in the world would we give sex changes in Guatemala? What does that benefit U.S. citizens? How do you feel about your tax dollars going to that? And look at what they were just trying to do to the youth. They won't let kids be kids no more. They want to push their ideologies on kids now. That's not authentic. That's fake and phony as they come. You could put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Remember that. You can't do away with science. Science is real, guys. Real. Tangible. Not fantasy land. And I hate doing this, guys, but I believe in Santa Claus more than I believe in Jesus. Not to mention, you want to talk about authenticity? It's said that this is the Christian faith. Now, once again, I promote religion. I'm an advocate for religion. I love the secular movement. I like it a lot because it's teaching morals and ethics, but they're even watering that down now. it's gotten to the point where, if you remember correctly, and if you know Scripture, and I do, I've studied multiple religions. I was really into Catholicism for quite some time. I as an adult, went from being a Baptist to Catholic. I went to Catholic school. I went through the rite of elections, scrutiny, all that stuff. I took catechism classes, was anointed with oils, and was made Catholic, okay? But then, once I started digging through history, once I started really looking at how wide of a scope this is, we are nothing. We are that much. 95% of our history is missing. 95% of human history is missing. Wrap your mind around that. Humans have been here 650,000 years, but the Bible's 2,000 years old, and accounts for that. Which all goes back to the story of Gilgamesh. They all took it from there, from Sumer. Once again, history. If you dig in the ground and you pull something out and it's tangible and real, you know it was there. That's how we know dinosaurs really existed, because we dug it up. You know what was before dinosaurs? A lot. Plate tectonics are constantly moving, recycling. Lava is gonna eat everything, by the way, guys. Lava burns at a temperature where, I'm not for sure, and I'm gonna research this, but I think tungsten, even lava can melt tungsten, and I could be wrong. I wanna actually research that on my own. That's something I'm interested in. So, if the earth is constantly recreating itself and flicking us off like fleas every so many million years, whatever it is, as we travel through the cosmos, religion sets in. Here's a real quick history lesson. Okay, so the Jewish faith created the Torah. There's your beginning of God, okay? The God is, you know, in the Christian faith. Okay, so the Jews invented Christianity, literally, right? Then the Catholics came in and really blew it all the way up. So that's when they brought in Jesus. Now, think about this. If there was a bunch of people and they had to follow stern, strict rules in order to get into heaven, which should be correct, because you can't just let everybody into heaven. We live in reality here, right? Okay, so if it's strict to get in there and they're like, look, we want to get more people. Well, let's make a martyr, and let's say if you go through this person, no matter what you do. Now, here's where it gets a little graphic. You might want to mute this. You might want to do something a little different. You might want to turn the camera off at this point. But you mean to tell me that there is a way to get to heaven if you kidnap a bus full of nuns, do the most foul stuff you can imagine to them, rip unborn babies out of the womb, microwave it and eat it? You mean you're going to heaven if you just ask for forgiveness from Jesus? If there was a such thing as a God, I wouldn't respect any God that would let a child molesting murderer into heaven. I don't care if he prayed through Jesus or not. That's why Jesus is so watered down, dude. That's the problem here. Is anyone now? You mean to tell me Hitler on his deathbed was like, I repent and I believe in Jesus, and then and boom, Hitler's in fucking heaven? Get the fuck out of here. How naive can you be? I believe in Santa Claus before I believe in that. But that shows you how naive people truly are, because we're all looking for that something more. Once I die, there's got to be something more to this. We're not going to get into this, but I'm not supposed to see a whole bunch more here. Okay, my time is supposed to be up really soon, but I feel amazing right now since I came to Hawaii. That salty air, I don't cough up the black stuff no more. My lung feels great. I still have some internal issues going on here, but all in all, I am rebuilding and repairing my body. I don't need their little miracle medicines. I don't need no shots. And I'm so glad my parents stood up to this. That's why I don't have ADHD. That's why I don't have autism, because my parents were anti-vax. Okay, they were, and I'm not saying I am, because the last thing I want to do is get restricted here. But I want you to look back 1,000 years ago. There wasn't none of this ADHD. There wasn't none of this mental health issues. That shit wasn't going on because they weren't reconstructing DNA through vaccines and things like that. The pharmaceutical companies and the food industry are the two largest right now to manipulate society for their benefit and their gain. They work hand in hand. If the pharmaceutical company says, hey, I got this new medicine, this is what it does, da da da. Well, the food industry says, well, we can pump some chemicals and make people want to get your drug for whatever. It's too much, man. I'm not making conspiracy theories here. This is just reality. All you have to do is just look around. Ozempic? You mean to tell me I don't have to do no work and I can lose weight? I can take your magical miracle pill and just shed the pounds. How unauthentic is that? Put the work in and receive the gains from it. Nothing feels better than that. Have you ever had a runner's high? I haven't in a while, and I tell you what, tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm jogging the beach until I get one. Because I miss that feeling. I'm going to get back to being more physical. Life is what we truly make it. But to make it through life, you have to be authentic. You need to be you. Not what you think they want you to be. That's why I am who I am, and I'll never change. I am what I am, and what I'm not, I'll never be. You hear that statement? Any of my G's out there, I need you to go look in the mirror. This is your morning here, your afternoon, whatever it may be. Go look in that mirror. Look yourself in the eyes and say, what I am. I am what I am, and what I'm not, I will never be. I am what I am, and what I'm not, I will never be. So simple. Each one, reach one, teach one, and that's what we're doing here. Cup of Joe with Poe. Hope you enjoyed this morning's episode. Please subscribe or follow whichever platform you're watching this on right now as we cross stream through the ether, through the electromagnetic signals being sent out. Enjoy your day as I am going to enjoy mine. 1.